Hey team, welcome back. So, as you remember, we enabled finding the project by identifier. And now what we're going to work on is actually finding our project, or actually getting all of the projects. This is going to be a really interesting one too. So, the first thing that we need to do is that we need to do a little change in our repository layer, because although when you come to here to the project repository, although you do have a find all method that comes out of the box, I might want to perform some changes, especially when we get to the point where we do our user, because then we're only going to want to retrieve the projects by user. But for now, actually, I thought that we had to make some changes here, but right now I am just literally overriding or using the implementation that comes out of the box with JPA, and I just realized that it returns the iterable type, which is what I wanted. So this one's going to be hopefully short and sweet. If I don't get to talking too much, which I know I sometimes do, I apologize. I just want to be very thorough with how I explain everything. All right, so now that we have this, then the next step is obviously to wire up our service layer before we actually go on to doing our controller. So here it's going to be very, very simple. Public iterable of that project and find all projects. Now, for those of you that don't know what iterable is, whenever you have a find all, or whenever you have something that returns a list, the basic way to extract that list is usually to traverse through it. But in this case, with iterable, it actually out of the box returns a JSON object that has all the JSON elements or all the objects within that list that we want to display. In this case, we want to see a list of all our projects, so that when we load up the dashboard in our UI, we can see all the projects associated with our account. Okay, this is basically what this is. And we're going to call the final method that we defined, or that we try to override on the repository, which is obviously this one. Okay, so now we're going to go to the project controller, and basically we're going to work on getting the route set up for this. And I'm just opening my notes here because I just want to make sure that I'm staying consistent, because I do want to stay consistent with the app that I already built, and make sure that the only way this deviates from that app is if we find any bugs, then we just do the code, the bug fixes. But on and on, everything that actually works, we want to keep. Okay, so basically we're going to do public iterable, again of type project, and then we're just going to call this one get all projects, and we're not going to pass any parameters here, and we're just going to return the project service and then find all projects. Okay, so here we don't need any type of validation or any type of exception handling, because if we don't have any projects, we should just get an empty array or an empty list. That's it, right? Nothing fails. There shouldn't be a problem unless we cannot reach the server. But other than that, this shouldn't have any problems with this. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this, and basically what we're trying to do is get them all, and we should get an empty object. Perfect. And now that we're going to start passing project objects here, 3, 4. I'm just going to do 3. Then we should get a list now of projects, and this is perfect. And just again, just to be on the safe side, let's make sure that we are actually getting what we have on our database. It's always good to make sure that everything's working, not to try and move too fast and then overlook something. And here you go. we have all 3 projects that we just created and that we're retrieving on the list here. So this one's a short and sweet one, and actually the ones to come, which is delete and update, are going to be even shorter. So I'll see you there. Thank you for watching.